Closing escrow is like having a baby. It sounds odd, but it's pretty accurate. When you're pregnant, you have a due date. And when you're in escrow, you have a target date for the close of escrow. Unfortunately, neither of those dates is a guaranteed thing. We could close escrow or deliver your baby early or right on time, or maybe even late. Depends on many details and many factors, most of which are out of your control.
When you get to the final stages of getting ready to close escrow, there are lots of to-dos on the lender's end, and that can affect both the buyer and the seller. There are many lender conditions that have to be taken care of, or more technically speaking, conditions need to be cleared.
A condition could be as easy as a lender needing an updated pay stub or an updated bank statement from the buyer before they can fund the loan. The conditions could even be more complex, but if we get more complex things, we'll deal with that when it comes.
When it's getting close to closing time, the buyer has to sign closing disclosures before the lender will issue loan documents, which are known as docs, for the buyer to sign.
The buyer's lender has to give us a clear to close, meaning all the prior to doc conditions have been taken care of. There may be some prior to funding conditions. For example, again, a prior funding condition might be they needed an updated bank statement or an updated pay stub before they will fund the loan.
In all of this, there may be some delays or unforeseen hiccups, but not to worry, we've seen almost everything before.
After all these things are done, the buyer's loan funds, which generally means the lender wires the money to the escrow.
Then after that, the deed needs to be recorded into the buyer's name at the county recorder's office. So in some counties, like Orange County, for example, the loan can fund and the deed can be recorded on the same day at the county recorder's office, and that's called a special. But it does take quite a bit of coordination between escrow, the lender, and the title company. And so even if all those parties try for a special, it may not actually happen. Then in counties like Los Angeles County, funding and recording generally is very unlikely to happen on the same day. So usually we plan for the buyer's loan to be funding one day and then the recording at the county recorder's office to happen the very next day, the next business day. The day that the deed gets recorded is the day that escrow officially closes. So as soon as we get that email or phone call, or nowadays a lot of times it's a text message with confirmation of recording, we'll let all the parties know and arrange for the transfer of keys to the buyer if that's happening on the day that escrow closes per the purchase agreement.
After the deed's recorded, the title company has to give all the final numbers to the escrow company so that the escrow officer can finalize all the closing statements and settle the accounts. Now, there's usually a little bit of extra money that's there, and this happens normally the next day after it records. That money for the seller, which is most important, is going to be wired out to the seller the next day to your bank account. And for the buyer, if there's any unused money, it will also be wired out to the buyer's bank account, and then all the funds will be dispersed.
So as you can see, there are a ton of details and things that need to line up just so on the final days of escrow. So it's really like having a baby.
With the two of us, we have over a combined 50 years of experience, and we've got you covered.